Hey, what up, everybody? Talon Williams of Movement Radio here, and this is your weekly wrestling wrap-up for April 12th, 2025. Let's not waste time. Let's jump straight into Monday Night Raw. So General Manager Adam Pearce finally got everything figured out. Rhea Ripley has been added to the match between Io Sky and Bianca Belair, now officially making it a triple threat match. Bayley and Lyra Valkyria had their rematch for the Intercontinental Championship, which was actually a pretty good match. Lyra Valkyria ended up picking up the win. Probably one of the coolest spears, most vicious spear. Yeah, Braun Breaker just destroyed Carlito in this segment. Penta and Dom had a good match. Everything's getting set up. It is now going to be a fatal four-way at WrestleMania between Braun, Finn, Dom, and Penta. It's going to be a good match, I think, and we'll see what happens in that match because I think it's going to lead to something. I'll talk about that more in the WrestleMania predictions later on this week. Finally, it took Jimmy Uso getting his ass kicked for Jay to finally realize that the Yeets ain't everything about this story. He finally said to Gunther what he wanted to say. He said he's not afraid of him anymore. This match does have the potential to be a great match at WrestleMania, depending on how good Jay has gotten over the course since last year. Because if we all remember the Uso versus Uso match at 40, Jay could do a better job. And I think with Gunther as his opponent, especially on the big stage of WrestleMania, I think it's going to be good. And Seth Rollins, being the antagonistic Seth Rollins that he is, pushing and slapping Paul Heyman, saying how much are you worth, saying, because CM Punk doesn't care about friends, he cares about money. And then Seth puts his hands on him, and then this happens. CM Punk comes out, brawl ensues, and then he goes to slide back into the ring, and then Seth Rollins hits him with the curb stomp and almost hits Paul Heyman with a curb stomp as well. And then you get this image right here where Seth looks at Paul Heyman and says, "Now you owe me a favor." I'm telling you, man, this is probably one of the matches, out of all the matches that have been led up to WrestleMania, this is the one that I am the most intrigued by as to what's going to happen in this match between Punk, Roman, and Seth. But yeah, that's the way they finished Monday Night Raw this week. Let's go on to NXT. Jada Parker and Jordynne Grace have a match for the number one contendership to the NXT Women's Championship. Jordan wins, but into disqualification. Stephanie Valkyrie, she's like, what's going on? Julia comes out, beats the shit out of Stephanie Valkyrie, and now we all know what's going to happen. NXT Stand and Deliver, the Women's World Championship will be defended. The NXT Women's Championship will be defended in a fatal four-way with Jordynne Grace, Julia, Stephanie Valkyrie, and Jada Parker. It might be a good match. I think it will be. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Are you guys looking forward to this match? Let me know in the comments. Dark State looked dominant over Obafemi, Trick Williams, and Javon Evans, the three guys who will be competing for the NXT Championship in the triple threat match in the main event of NXT Stand and Deliver. These guys, they're trying to make them to be the next Shield, and they're doing a somewhat good job of it because, these guys are taking out the top three guys in the company right now, right? So Eddie Thorpe, Wes Lee, and Lexis King all want to be the number one contender for the NXT North American Championship currently held by Ricky Saints. Ethan Page obviously wants that shot too since he already attacked Ricky Saints. So this Tuesday on NXT, there will be a number one contendership match between Eddie Thorpe, Ethan Page, Lexis King, and Wes Lee, and the winner will be the number one contender and will go on to Stand and Deliver to face Ricky Starks. My money, I think it's going to end up being Ethan Page. That's just my opinion. I think that's how they were setting it up to begin with, but they needed some filler to go before Mania. So that's where I got it, and we'll see what happens. But that's it for NXT. Let's talk about the main focal point of SmackDown this week. With Kevin Owens being out for the rest of the year 2025 and possibly the beginning of 2026, obviously, Kevin Owens' match against Randy Orton in WrestleMania had to be canceled. But Randy's still wanting his match at WrestleMania. And they've been teasing this between him and Nick Aldis. I don't know if WWE will even consider putting Nick Aldis in a match. But, general managers have been in matches before. Eric Bischoff was in a match. Teddy Long was in a match, kind of. There's been a plethora of general managers who have laced up the boots and gotten into the ring. How crazy would it be that WWE champion, former WWE champion Randy Orton goes one-on-one against NWA champion Nick Aldis? That would be a damn good match. But you've also heard rumors about Aleister Black. You've also heard rumors about, other people who could possibly come back. Rusev's name has been thrown out there also. I honestly think that it's going to be this, or it's going to be somebody of Nick Aldis' choosing. Either way, I think this is going to be a really good match if this, in fact, is going to be the match at WrestleMania. They had a 6-team gauntlet match, and the winners of this match will face Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for the women's tag team titles at WrestleMania. And as you can see the field here, you only had one option. You had Lyra Valkyria and Bayley, who literally just beat the shit out of each other on Monday Night Raw this past week for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, and now they're teaming up on SmackDown. Does logic not work in this situation? You know, I get it. Like, I get it. You want to have your championships represented at Mania. Like, I understand that. But, these two are a legitimate tag team right here. These two are a legitimate tag team right here. These two are even a legitimate tag team because they're the quote-unquote security for Chelsea Green. This is a makeshift team. Now, if you want to put this as like an underdog team, I'm like, okay, like I don't like it, but I would understand the logic behind it. These two were just thrown together just to be thrown together. But these two also. I mean, is it more of like I respect you, you respect me, we beat the shit out of each other, but we can still team up and go, attack for titles? I don't know, but that's what happened this week. They win. They go up against Liv and Raquel at WrestleMania for the women's tag team titles. And something about this picture just makes sense to me. Right after Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga go up against Randy Orton and LA Knight, after the match, Jacob Fatu comes in there and just destroys LA Knight, holding up the United States Championship. I'm telling you now, this should be a damn good match, and this is the moment that I personally think Jacob Fatu needs to get this championship. He needs to win this title. This guy is money, and WWE needs to realize that before it's too late, and they mess him around, and then they devalue him to the point to where he's not going to be able to be in that number one spot again, and then he switched over to AEW, and then he'll end up getting an even better push, and it's like, man, we're fumbling it. You know what I'm saying? WWE doesn't fumble as much as Tony Khan, but they can still fumble every once in a while. And this week, WWE has introduced the inductors for the Hall of Fame this year. The Undertaker will be inducting Michelle McCool. Makes sense because that's his wife. Shawn Michaels will be inducting Triple H in the Hall of Fame. It makes sense because they're lifelong friends, D-Generation X, the corporate ladder, all that good shit. Diamond Dallas Page will be inducting Lex Luger into the Hall of Fame. Lex Luger originally wanted Sting, but because Sting is still under an AEW contract, and AEW and WWE don't really have the best relationship, obviously, Diamond Dallas Page would have been the better choice here. And CM Punk gets the honor of inducting the very first ever Immortal Moments match into the Hall of Fame with Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin's classic match from WrestleMania 13. No word yet on who will be inducting the Natural Disasters into the Hall of Fame, but I'm sure that news will come out eventually later on this week, perhaps. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this week's edition of the Weekly Wrestling Wrap-Up. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support you guys have been giving us. What are your thoughts on what took place this week in the world of professional wrestling? Leave your comments down below. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and be on the lookout this week for our WrestleMania 41 predictions and NXT Stand and Deliver predictions. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching. We love you, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.